Manchester United expected to complete the signings of Bayern Munich duo Matthijs Ligt and Noussair Mazraoui, and that will be two more players who played under Ten Hag at Ajax, just like Andre Onana, Lisandro Martinez and Anthony as well. And bar Mazraoui, the transfer fees are all looking at 50 million euros or more. In Anthony's case, double that as well. Mario Melchiot still with us to talk more about this. Ten Hag getting the band back together, Mario.
That's what I'm looking at too. You understand? I'm always skeptical, when it regards Ten Hag and any Dutch coach when he brings too many players over. I mean, clearly this one has a little different. Why? Because there were so many problems at the back. You understand, for last season and the season before that. So it's normal that he's looking at players. But if this will be the fit that he's looking for, because I think he signed a new deal. And in the deal, in the agreement, must have been an agreement of him saying like, okay, I want to add more players to my squad. And the players that I want to add to my squad are the ones that I feel are right for my team. So that's why I think he went for the two, Mazraoui and Ligt.
What do you think of these players for Manchester United, Mario?
I think, look, the Ligt is very talented. Why? Because he was so young. You understand, when he broke into the Ajax system, and he really was one of the young kids that really came through in the sense of like the talent. He went to Juve and then at Munich. I felt like there were some clubs he had up and downs, you understand, because he's in and out. I think at Bayern it wasn't always as stable as he wanted to. Of course, he had some periods where it was like all going out to according to his plan. But there were also moments where they picked him out and said like, okay, sit out and see it. In the national team, he has similarities because sometimes I felt like building up the play was sometimes holding back. You understand that he wasn't always as capable as the way the system they wanted to play. But I still felt like, okay, he was still always up there. But when it comes to, for example, for Mazraoui playing on the right side, the key thing for Mazraoui is he was a right winger before he broke into the first team at Ajax. And as a right winger, they turned him into a right defender. And when he became the right defender, he became a more attacking style of the defender. It's kind of what the modern game is playing now. So for him, this was an advantage. Now going to Man U, we saw Wan-Bissaka leaving. Defensively, he was very strong. Attacking, he wasn't as strong. So now we expect Mazraoui to really bring that aspect. And that is actually what Ten Hag knows about him. So that's why he went for him.
So if we were to put a possible 11 together, which we've done, without the injured players of Rasmus Højlund and Lenny Yoro right now, and including De Ligt and Mazraoui, this is how it could shape up, Mario. Is that a team that can make a difference in the Premier League this year? Is that a team that can challenge for fourth?
Yes, I think this is a team that's a big chance of it. The only thing that I'm also a little bit worried about, Casemiro, you understand, last season, towards the end, there were moments sometimes they left the gaps too open for him, and I feel when the team gets stretched, he then becomes a player that normally has to dictate the tempo in the game, and he can't do that anymore like he used to do. So that's the only question mark I would have. If they keep it tight, great, they can handle it in the middle. But if not, that will be their biggest problem, is the middle of the park.
How good do you think that specific team would be, Shaka?
I think that team could potentially challenge top four, but for that version of Manchester United to be anywhere near the top four, Marcus Rashford has to have a season like we saw 2 years ago, and Garnacho has to be the standout player for Manchester United. If you can get those two things, I think Manchester United can challenge for top four. I think the big concern, and I'll echo what Mario said here, is right up through the middle. I'm not sure that Casemiro, and I love Kobe Mainoo as a player, but Casemiro alongside him, I worry about the legs in the middle of the park, especially with Bruno Fernandes sitting on top. I just feel that whole gap straight down Manchester United's middle of their midfield is way too, or will be way too open. I just don't think they cope well enough. So that puts, again, even more pressure on Rashford and Garnacho, which, again, you're asking a lot of those two if this United is to finish top four. Asking a lot that I'm not sure you're going to get.
What would the balance be like, Stevie, in a side like that?
If they're all at their best for the season, then they can challenge for top four. It's a big if. I mean, you question marks over Xerxes. Is he going to be the same as Højlund, who it took him at least half a season to settle down? Rashford, we had no idea what we were going to get from Rashford. If the opportunities he had at the weekend in Charity Shield are in to go by, he's not quite at it yet. Casemiro, Mario brought it up. You know, there's no legs there. Can Menu defend? I'm not so sure, as good as he is going forward, he can defend. And we've just been talking about Mazraoui. He's good at going forward, but he can't defend. All of these things put together does not say top 4. It just doesn't. Too many ifs, too many questions, too many we're not sure what we're going to get. And with so many of those, you can't with any certainty turn around and say, yeah, this is a top 4 side. You can't.